This is Angela Valente Romeo. Welcome to my blog, Colliding Worlds. This blog is a journey into the exploration of all things. This is Angela Valente Romeo. This is Colliding Worlds. This is another segment, and today we're at Savage Gallery. It's here in Palm Springs. We'll give you all the info, where to find us, where to come, and what's going on. We're going to talk to Shawn Savage now. We'll see you in a minute. We're here with Shawn Savage. This is Shawn's gallery, and this is some of Shawn's work. Welcome.
Hi.
Tell me about these paintings.
Well, these are paintings I have recently done for the Palm Springs Animal Shelter. They're actually based on some dogs that I have recently rescued, and
They've become a part of your life, puppies. You just can't get rid of them. Do they have names?
They do, actually. This is Spot and Rex, and they'll be on greeting cards, which will be at the Palm Springs Animal Shelter for sale 15th of October from 6 to 10 p.m.
And you're going to be featuring your work?
I'll be featuring my work and the work of some local artists who are doing pet-related art pieces.
I see another pet-related piece over here.
Yeah, that's one of mine. That's called Walking the Dog.
On those little tiny feet.
Well, I decided to do her based on kind of a Palm Springs woman. Around here, you just never know what you're going to see, and you kind of see that a lot.
I kind of call that Palm Spring guy, but, you know.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah, skirt on a guy around here, that's pretty normal.
Well, this space that you're in now is relatively new to Palm Springs.
Yes, we've been here for 3 months. We're going into our 4th month now. The space is 2,000 square feet and features a boutique area, which one of my things is going around and finding wonderful vintage pieces to bring in and resale. Helps out the gallery, keeps the bills paid, and gives you something to base the artwork on. It's nice to see the artwork in a setting with furniture and accessories and things like that. Kind of makes you see how it's going to work in your home.
That's always a nice thing. It's nice to be able to vision that. But more importantly, what's kind of unique about this gallery is the change. You're really into bringing new artists, maybe not as well-known artists, in and giving them an opportunity to show their works. Now, I recently attended a reception here for B.B. Lechner. That was in August, which was very well attended. You recently had another one for the Highway 62 group.
Art tours, yeah. When I got the gallery, I thought one of the main things I wanted to do here, since I'm an artist myself, is give other artists a chance and a place to show their work. So often on places like El Paseo, they don't want local artists. They want to find artists that are from out of state. Well, there's perfectly fine, amazing talents here in the Valley, and I want to showcase them. The way we're kind of doing events is we're getting them in, we're getting them out. About every 2 weeks we're having another event. So we want to not only showcase those artists, but we want to have that sense of urgency to get in here, to see them, get that piece of work, and move to the next.
What's kind of interesting about all of that is it keeps it fresh. What ends up happening is you end up going to the thing and you see the same work, and then you kind of wonder, it's been here for 6 months, what's the problem? Or it's so bloody expensive that you've got to mortgage your house plus your firstborn in order to purchase it. Price points have been relatively accessible.
Yeah, very reasonable here.
And the work is very interesting. We're going to go into the back room in a little bit, and we're going to see some of the work, and I'm going to give you all a sneak preview of the piece that I recently purchased. It's a great way to do things, and it gives everybody an opportunity to play, and I think that's the amazing part.
And in this day and age with computers and online galleries, which we have, the art may be in here for just 1 week, but you can see it on our website, and order it or find out about it for weeks on end. So it doesn't have to be sitting in the gallery. We can keep things fresh in here and still keep them accessible to you.
We're going to take a little tour, and we're going to walk around, and we're going to look at some of this artwork. We're going to look at more of Shawn's work. We're going to learn more about Shawn, more about his philosophy, but we're going to stroll right now. So come along. We are now standing in the gallery space, and this is where Shawn presents several shows a month. As you can see, we're in transition here. There's a show coming in. Shawn's working. This is a working studio. This is a vibrant studio. There's life going on in here. We're looking at pieces of Shawn's work and pieces from the Route 62 show. And if you follow me, you're going to get my sneak preview. This is mine. It's coming home with me. The artist is from Joshua Tree.
Yes, Aaron Hansen.
And Aaron Hansen, and I am thrilled. I'm thrilled to be the owner of this piece. He's local.
Aaron actually sold both of his pieces at our recent show.
As you can see, it used to be on this wall here, but now it's gone. So, talk to us a little bit about the show that was just here and the one that was coming in.
The show that was just here is the Route 62 Art Tours. They have it up every year from Morongo to 29 Palms, and you go studio to studio seeing the artists work in their studios. This is their 10th year, its 10th anniversary, and they wanted to have kind of a preview show for Palm Springs residents, and they had one here, and it was very well attended, and they made several sales, so they did very well.
We're going to be taking a little tour up there during that open studio, so that's coming up on Colliding Worlds. But back in through here, as you can see, we're working, and there's a new show coming in, and we have more of Shawn's work. A lot of emphasis on animals.
Well, we're getting ready for that the Palm Springs Animal Shelter show, and I'm actually right here's my workspace. Like I said, this is a working gallery. In between shows, I set up my table, and I'm here creating these paintings for my next show. So this is a multi-use space, and we really make the best of it.
And you have, the space is really well utilized. It's nice and airy. There's nice natural lighting in here. There's these smaller rooms that host other pieces, and again, they host what Shawn mentioned earlier, little finds that he has that kind of keeps the gallery interesting and exciting. And I'm looking at non-animals in this grouping here, the three figures. When did you create this work?
These were created at the beginning of summer, and the series is called Child's Play.
We're going to take a closer look at Child's Play.
It was just a playful look at a kind of the work that a child would do, kind of like the 3 to 5 year range.
When they don't talk back.
Exactly. but they had such a unique and playful, outlook on life. I kind of wanted to capture that, and I actually, sold, most of the series. My newest series, after the pets are done here in the next week, is going to be going back to abstracts, and I have one over there, example that I'm going to kind of be playing with a little bit more.
We're going to go over and take a look at that right now. So again, come along. We're walking, folks. We're walking. The abstracts are very much a departure, and at the same time, they're not a departure from both the animal and the child prints.
Yeah.
They're same kind of shapes going on, same big bold brush strokes, same size. You like large paintings?
Well, we live in a town that has very large homes and very high ceilings. So I work for a lot of interior designers, and they demand large sizes. And with my abstracts, which I've always done, in between projects like the Child's Play series, we've always, created these for interior designers, for homes, for color palettes, and I do that on a regular basis.
The medium, acrylic?
The medium is acrylic, and then on this particular one, I've used 1960s newspaper. So it's kind of fun to look at all the prices and the ads and stuff, and you really get a sense of history.
I think it's a great way of doing it. I like looking at the price of steaks at 39 cents a pound. Like, what? I don't even remember that one.
I just think it makes it more interesting. And then when you get back from it, you kind of see the beauty of the entire piece.
Are your works canvas or on wood?
They're on masonite board. I tend to build my own frames and everything, so that helps to keep the prices down to pass along to my customers.
But don't you find being able to make your own canvases, so to speak, just opens up endless possibilities?
Well, it does, and it's quicker. And when I want to paint a painting, I don't have to wait on someone to create a.
There's
There's
nothing worse than waiting for it to get stretched.
Well, because by then I've lost the feeling and I'm done. So.
Do you have, when you start any particular grouping, do you go in with in mind, like, I'm going to do 10 in this series, I'm going to do 3, or do you just let it evolve on its own?
It pretty much evolves, but most of my work, I doodle all the time in the evenings watching TV. Like the Child's Play series, I probably did 10, 15 pages of little doodles of these people, and that's what became the subject matter for the paintings themselves. So, and I tend to work like that a lot.
Now this painting here in the corner?
This was actually done at the beginning of the Child Play series, and these were kind of a big head people series that I was playing with. And this was the first one. So this was the one that I was kind of playing with that kind of helped the others to evolve into what they did. And this one hasn't sold yet, but the ones that evolved into what I wanted them to be, sold.
And sometimes it's when you start with something and it's the first one you do and the last one you think 2 different people got involved with it. Sometimes when I'm playing with my own work, I look at the first piece and I look at the last piece, and they all had a common bond, but somewhere down the line it changed and got lost a little bit. That's what kind of makes it fun, and that's what makes, I think, art in and of itself interesting, is it never starts out and ends the way you think.
Yeah, and I tend to think of them as it not being sold as it has just not found its home yet.
Somebody will love it, or sometimes it's just meant to stay with you. There's always
that's
those,
okay too.
Or you can be like my husband. I've said this before. I had a show of my photographs in a gallery, and I was so excited because I sold them all. Yeah. I was thrilled, and then they all came home because Mark bought them all. He couldn't bear to part with them, so he bought them all. So it was like devastated.
Well, luckily for me as an artist and a gallery owner, most all of my paintings sell. In fact, I don't have any of my own paintings in my own home because of that. And that's great. I'm glad they're out there in the world. I'm glad that people are enjoying them and they're making people's lives, just more decorative.
There's something wonderful when you create something and you send it on its way.
Yeah.
And to hold it all and keep it all hidden away, it doesn't do anybody any good. You're not really expressing yourself if the only one who sees it is your cat, your dog, and your significant other.
Yeah.
It's kind of a fun feeling. It's also interesting when you see it in its new environment and its new home. Mm-hmm. My work is smaller, it tends to be more jewelry, so it's always fascinating to me when I see somebody wearing it, because it's like, oh my God, I didn't see it that way, or how different it looks. It doesn't look that way on me.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of nice when you see your work displayed. Someone's taken the time and they found a spot for it and they've thought about it.
Yeah, I was recently looking through, it was earlier this summer, California Home and Design is one of my favorite magazines. And I was flipping through there like I always do, looking for new ideas for paintings. And I came across one of my old ones. That was a very exciting moment. Of course, they didn't know who the artist was, but boy, I got online and let everybody know.
We're now standing in front of what I think is one of my favorite pieces of Shawn's. It's a prelude to the Big Head series. I think she's interesting. I think she's all kinds of things. She's dynamic, she's cool, there's something sexy about it. It's a perfect size, it's great color. Come and tell me all about her.
Well, the painting is 3 foot by 4 foot.
And is this on the masonite?
It's on masonite. Most of my pieces are. It's acrylic, and in this one I used a lot of watered down paint, which is kind of a new technique that I'm kind of enjoying. It just kind of makes the piece less formal and more interesting. This one's called The Big Black Eye.
I love that. It's got this Clockwork Orange thing going, folks.
And yeah, she's a little weird and out there, but with my art, what you're going to get is it's never going to become wallpaper. It's always going to be interesting. Your visitors to your home are always going to comment, and that's what you want. If your art's just going to be wallpaper, what's the purpose of having
Cut it
it?
out of the newspaper, stick
Exactly.
a frame on it, and call it a day.
Exactly.
I love the fact that it's next to this little one here, and he's kind of got this little more innocent look on his face.
Yeah. That was actually one that wasn't one of my favorites. Believe it or not, an artist has his favorite paintings and his not so favorite paintings. But a little tidbit about that, I have that's one of my most popular designs, and I have actually done that painting in several different colors, different sizes for clients throughout the valley, ranging from 4 foot by 6 foot to this size, which is 2 foot by 2 foot. So even an artist doesn't know when his most popular piece is going to come along.
I'm looking at the style, I'm looking at the work. Who were the artists that inspired you?
Obviously Picasso, Miro, pretty much all the classic mid-century modern artists. I'm a self-taught artist, so my school was just always looking through the art books. I started by copying the Renaissance and making very realistic paintings. Of course, I sold all those too.
It's good.
But
Commerce is good.
But I owned an antique store in Columbus, Ohio when I first started really painting, and when we wouldn't have customers, I would be behind the desk making these little paintings, and I'd put them in the window. And before long, I was selling as many paintings as I was anything else. And after a bad winter, I thought, well, if I'm going to be an artist, I can be a poor artist anywhere.
That's right.
I'm going to go be a poor artist where it's warm.
That's the way to do it. I got my introduction to art when I was little, and they had those can you draw Winky?
Yeah.
And I drew Winky, and
Yeah,
my
I did
parents,
too.
and they came and they talked to my parents, and they were all excited, and it just wasn't financially possible at the time.
Yeah.
But the next thing I know, my dad came home with the watercolor set with a crappy brush and the watercolor paint book, and off I went, and I kept all my paints in my mom's Avon Lady case, which I'm proud to say my brother still owns, including a couple of the early attempts at art. But it's amazing what sets you going,
Yeah,
inspires
when
you.
I was a kid, I didn't even know being an artist you could make a living at it. And a lot of artists don't. But I've been one of the lucky ones. I've actually made my living doing art. It hasn't always been easy. It's not easy now. But I keep going. I keep building more canvases, painting more paintings, having more shows, and I keep hoping that keep the doors open and keep doing what I love.
It's always a great thing when your passion and your profession meld.
Yeah.
And it's a rare thing to have come. And I think you've done it here. You've been able to meld your passion and your creativity with a profession. And you have a professional eye. The gallery gives opportunity to see Shawn's work, but it gives opportunity to other artists. And it's a nice feeling of cooperation and sharing. And my new thing, the golden rule, it's very much a doing unto others. It's a great space. It's wild to look at the difference. From here to the little knickknacks to other people's work, you're well on your way, and I really thank you for spending time with us.
Well, thank you.
And we're going to give you all the information, as I said. We're going to get you the website and where to find Shawn, and you can check out when the upcoming shows are. The next show is for benefiting the Palm Springs Animal Shelter. So we'll give you the info, and we'll see you there. Thank you. We hope you have enjoyed this visit to Savage Gallery as much as we have. Take a look around, take it all in. Looking forward to seeing you here at Shawn's next event. Just come in and say hello. You just never know what you're going to find. Thank you again.